Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I have Kristina Sullivan with me on Zoom. Hey, Kristina.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's good. You know, Zoom is pretty much seeing somebody, right?
I see you. You see me. Yeah, we see each other.
Right? And I'll share with everybody. So the reason you're on the podcast is you wrote, co-produced, and starred in the short film What If You Had the Perfect Person. And I put in that slight pause because there's I believe, what is it? Ellipsis after what if, ... you had the perfect person. And this is going to be a very jovial, friendly podcast as well, because I'm going to tell everyone right now that you were a wonderful presence at the festival. You know, some people have a film. Oh, it was at Sherman Oaks FIlm Festival in December of 2025. And you took home the Filmmakers Award for Outstanding Cast Performance in a short film sci-fi. And you also personally got the award for Outstanding Screenplay for a short film sci-fi. So, little golf clap.
Thank you.
And here's what I almost said before I mentioned your film being at the festival and the awards, which is that at the festival, you know, I do not necessarily play favorites. All the films are wonderful, including yours. But I just find it wonderful when people whose film is an official selection also just come to the festival and come to events and attend screenings and watch the work of their peers. Because, you know, I understand some people are busy and you come and go real quick. But the people who stick around and get to know the staff and get to know the other filmmakers, they get so much more out of the festival. And that was you. I would say that you and members of your team were just were a wonderful presence at Sherman Oaks FIlm Festival in December of 2025. So thank you. Thank you for being the awesome kind of person. And your team was really awesome too. But you were an awesome person for being there and being a part of the festivities of the festival. Because it's a festive festival with festivities.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We all had a great time. We met so many wonderful people like yourself and your team and the other filmmakers. And so it was a great experience getting to hang out and just talk to the people. Like everybody there was just so nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It is. Sometimes I say this a little too often, maybe not on the podcast as much, but I say it at the festival all the time, which is, you know, I joke about being old and that I was involved in film festivals. I was on the festival circuit like in the 90s, and people were not nice because it was right after like Brothers McMullen and Clerks and She's Gotta Have It and whatnot. And, you know, people thought they were going to go to a film festival and come home with a 5-picture deal they'd be set for life and they'd be looking at mansions the next week. And that led to some real jerks on the festival circuit. And I mean, it's not wonderful that people who make, you know, particularly the people who make, you know, people who make indie films, it's been a long time since an indie film truly broke through and, you know, but it also means that people are making these indie films for the right reasons. And people who make art for the right reasons, I mean, I'm just going to say they're just nicer people than I would go to film festivals in the late 90s and meet people and they were literally like, you know, as rude as can be. So it's really nice. And it's really nice to see people like yourself enjoy a good time at a good film festival.
Yes.
And so the whole purpose of this podcast is not always to talk about the festival that I run, one of the festivals I run, Sherman Oaks FIlm Festival, but to get to know you better, particularly because we would not have a great film festival without great filmmakers. So, What If You Had the Perfect Person is really great. In fact, I will always get a kick out of I think it was at the opening night gala. I said something. I forget what I said, and you said, "Sure, it's most sci-fi is reminiscent of Black Mirror."
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say most, because I don't know. I haven't seen all the sci-fi things out there. But this particular movie that I wrote, I would say is something that could totally be on Black Mirror or The Twilight Zone. It has that type of vibe purposefully. Like that was my intention when I
It
wrote
really
it.
does, yeah. And it's funny, I guess I was sort of because I've sat at Q&As at times where someone raises their hand and goes, "Do you know that your film is a lot like an episode of Black Mirror?" Like, and I always feel terrible for the filmmaker who go because this was Black Mirror was fairly new and people would be like, "No, I kind of wrote this like 2 years ago." And yeah, now Black Mirror has stolen my thunder, and I'm really sad about that question. So I guess I probably was a little pre-defensive about it.
Oh, no, I was totally inspired by shows like The Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. I love the idea of it, especially with the anthology and with what if you had the perfect person. That was the intention for it to be what if, and then, multiple stories would be told. And the first one in this anthology was, what if you had the perfect person? And then the idea was to continue more. So yeah, definitely those shows were an inspiration to
You know,
me.
I don't know if you told me that it was the beginning of an anthology, but that's very brilliant because it is a great what if is the perfect way to introduce an anthology.
Yes, that was the plan. I mean, this plan was an idea a little bit of a time ago, and we still only just have the first one. So I'm not entirely sure if we will continue with more, but that was the initial idea, was to make it an anthology series.
Yeah, and the neat thing would be, yeah, I mean you got to start with one, but you've had a great festival run. We can put a link in the show notes to if people want to watch it on YouTube because I believe
Yes.
you've been on the festival circuit just over a year now, so it can be on YouTube now.
Right.
And but the cool thing would be I've always hoped for indie filmmakers, especially the folks that make shorts, to create the possibility of an anthology.
Mhm.
Like you could over, a few years end up making enough what ifs to put them together as a feature.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's so much that could be done with it. And the whole idea of the What If anthology came from the director, producer, editor, Brandon Fobbs, who he was like, hey, let's do like this What If series. And him and me and some other people, like, we're like, okay, well, what will we do? Will we do what if this or what if that? And then the one that I wrote, my idea, What If You Had the Perfect Person, was the one we decided to produce first. But there are some really great ideas that Brandon and myself and some other people came up with for potential sequels in an anthology. So yeah, maybe that will happen. That
Very
would be
cool, very cool. And it's always nice to see teams that work well together and enjoy it and plan to work more in the future. So that's really cool.
Yeah, totally. Like I know Brandon, for example, him and we did our first short film together. It premiered back in 2010. So so yeah, so I really love it when you find somebody you work well with and you continue to work together. And really, like almost our entire team was all like friends. They were all people we knew. We've worked with multiple times. We met most of the people at church. So yeah, I mean, it was totally like a family project, a friend project. It was just, yeah, a group of us who already knew we liked each other and liked working together.
Which, it shows in the quality of the work for sure. Right? Because something like this, you need a team that works well together. Although to be
Yeah.
honest, amusingly, I wouldn't have guessed because the cast, it's such a good, I mean, the four of you do such good performances. And yeah, it's certainly, well, I guess I'm revealing too much, but sometimes you see a short and you think, oh, they must be friends because like a couple people in the cast don't hold up. But I would have believed that all four of your actors just were cast for their, including yourself, just for their abilities because so just a fantastic cast.
Oh, thank
In
you.
fact, what am I saying? You won outstanding cast performance.
Yes, thank you very much. And the thing is, so Ivana and Cliff were people that Brandon and I knew from church. We've been friends with them for an extremely long time. And then Don, he was a referral from a friend that we knew from church. So I mean, it was just all people who we either knew or somebody vouched for them. But the thing is, we love working with friends, but we want to make sure that the things we do is quality. So we have lots of friends, but we made sure like, okay, well, which one of our friends would be a good fit for this particular role? So, you kind of have to make sure like, yes, maybe that is like nepotism to cast your friends, but only casting those who, even if you didn't know them, you probably would cast them anyways because they're talented people.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone will accuse any indie filmmakers of nepotism.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the indie film world, I mean, that's pretty much what it's all about is friends working
Yeah, it's
together mostly.
collaboration. It's not like people are like, you know, well, we could hire someone really great, but we'll hire such and such as nephew instead.
No, it's more like I know lots of people who are really great, and
Yeah.
so I'm gonna work
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah, and you choose the best people, which is
Yeah,
excellent. All right, well, let's I'm just gonna awkwardly segue to you really did write a great script.
thank you.
And your performance is great. So, were you a creative kid? What got you into filmmaking? Was it acting first? Was it storytelling first? Were you a writer? Like what were your inspirations when you were young?
I think I've always been a storyteller and had like a love for stories. Like ever since I learned how to read, I would read all the time. Like I'd be the kid who in school gets in trouble for like reading books when I'm supposed to be doing something else because I just love stories and the art of storytelling. And so yeah, there's just so many books I love to read. Like the Bible is my favorite book, and it has a ton of stories in there, and then like all different types of fiction, nonfiction, all different types of books. So definitely stories and storytelling through reading, and then also like telling my own stories, whether that's through writing or acting. Ever since I was young, I did enjoy being on stage, and I would say that definitely when I was in high school and I saw a performance like it was like a big, beautiful theater, August Wilson's Jitney, and it was just like all Black people as like the actors, the writer, director, and just to it's like see people that looked like me on stage and as like the whole team as far as like not only the actor but like the writer, director. I feel like representation is really important. And so seeing that representation, it really made me realize like, yes, this is something that I love that I can actually do because I see these people doing it and so I can do it too. And so yeah, I mean, I've been acting for a long time and then I started the writing because I do love writing as well as acting. But what really motivated me is because acting, if that's all you do, you don't really have much control over the ability to act because you're waiting for somebody else to give you a role all the time. So I wanted to also create roles for myself and for other people and tell stories that I really want to tell. Because sometimes I see things on TV or movies where I'm like, yeah, I want to see other things that I want to see. So yeah, so I started writing and then I had to produce because if you write something and I mean, how do you get it made? You have to do it yourself sometimes. So that's kind of how it went from like acting, writing, producing, and I do all three of those things. Acting and writing, I love. Producing, I do because sometimes I have to.
Understood. And yeah, absolutely. And by the way, where did you grow up?
I grew up mostly in the Boston area.
Boston area. Okay.
Yeah.
So and you discovered all the love for performing and writing out there.
Yeah, that's
So, because
where
I'm
I
just
saw
trying,
that play.
I'm doing a bad job of just saying, so, like like what got you to move out to Los Angeles? Like, was it school first, and then you did you have some creative focus, in school?
So, I mean, what motivated me to move out here is that I wanted to act. And back when I was younger, your only real opportunities to do like real acting for the most part was either New York or LA. And so I didn't know anybody in New York, but in LA, I have a lot of family. And so that's why I chose to come out here.
Right. And obviously there was high school plays and and stuff that kept you. piqued your interest?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, I did like, a little bit of theater, but I did other like after school activities in high school, so I didn't really have much time to do the theater program because I had other stuff I was doing. High school, you have so many opportunities to do this and that and 10 other things. I did also do theater in college. I have a degree in theater, and I did, different plays and things of that nature. So yeah, theater first, and
Right. So
then
it was college where you locked into theater and and stage performance, it sounds like.
Yes, because I have my degree in theater arts with a certificate in theatrical performance. So that was really the main theater for me, as opposed to like the behind the scenes stuff. It's more like the performance for the theater.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to read too much into it, but I mean, I do think that people with stage experience often make wonderful writers because you have dealt with an audience. You know what goes over, right? When you're on stage, you can tell what is working, what is not working really fast. And no offense to the writers who never leave home, but if you never experience audience reactions to to your writing or someone else's writing, you really are missing part of the puzzle, I think.
I agree. I think the audience reaction is so important. And I love it when I'm on stage and in real time I get to experience the audience's reactions. I do still do local theater, and so I do plays here and there locally. And I love that when I see like the audience was like laughing or getting emotional or whatever when they were supposed to, or sometimes not when like they were supposed to. Like, oh, I didn't think they would find this part funny or sad, but they did. But as long as I'm getting them to feel something, then that's great. Even if it wasn't, I was like, oh, so this is what's happening here. But even with film, I love it as an actor, writer, producer when I see my films on the screen, which is one of the things I love about like film festivals and film screenings, because I can sit there in the audience and I'm surrounded by people who are watching my work. And to me, it's even better than theater sometimes because with theater, it's like a simultaneous like I'm performing and the audience's reactions are happening at the same time. But with film, I'm just chilling in the audience. Like I'm not performing at the same time. Like I'm just relaxing and enjoying the performance, same as them. Like I'm also an audience member as I get to, witness their reactions. So I definitely, yeah, I love the audience. And I do think it is great though to have a background in theater and in film. I feel like, yeah, having that theater background definitely helps with film. And it's mediums that I do both. Like I do theater and I do film, and I enjoy it all.
I think it's wonderful that you do theater. I got to admit, whenever I meet an actor and they, look, if an actor doesn't have struggles, getting roles, it seems suspicious to me. But whenever I say to somebody, well, do you do any theater? And they go, no, no, I don't do any theater. I think to myself, well, what kind of actor doesn't do theater if there's time, Like if you're too busy working, I understand, but theater is such a wonderful opportunity for actors to really work on
I
craft. I mean,
agree. Yeah. And like, I don't want to be judging people, but I mean, I do kind of think that if this is something that you love to do, you're going to take every opportunity to do it. Like, whether you're getting paid or you're not getting paid, you're getting paid a lot, you're getting paid a little. It's not going to be about the money. It's going to be about you getting joy out of doing something you love doing. And yeah, it is kind of weird to me when actors like don't want to do theater.
should I risk it and say maybe they care more, they want to be famous. They may not want to act as much as they want to be known. And being in a small playhouse somewhere in Los Angeles that seats, you know, 40, 50, maybe 60, 80, 90 people, maybe that just doesn't feel big enough.
I totally think that may be the mindset for some people. Some people, they may just want, to be rich and famous, and they don't really have the same kind of level of love for the actual art as it is just like, well, I want, this recognition and all this type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, I love being recognized for my good work. That feels really good, but I do it because I love doing it and it brings me joy.
Yeah, exactly. You do it for the work, and then the other part is the reward for doing good work. It's not
Yeah.
sitting at home going, I got to figure out how to get famous, how to get more followers. Yeah, whatever. I'm being a little too anti, sir, but it's always a delight to get to know an actor who does care about theater and does care about the craft.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so after you moved out here, how soon before you like were you always writing even before you came out, or did it come after a little bit of time in and around the industry?
I mean, I've always loved to write.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like writing screenplays, I would say I had already been out here for maybe like about 10 years before I started writing screenplays. Like for real, for real. Like like I am doing this. I'm writing this screenplay and I'm going to, figure out what I gotta do to get it done. Yeah, I had been out here for a while.
And for a while. And I'm just curious, did you ever write plays too, or?
I have. Yeah, I mean, I know like in college I took a playwriting class and I wrote a play. And then because okay, like yeah, plays are cool, but I love film. I don't know, I love them both. But I ended up turning that play that I wrote into a screenplay and I produced it and I was one of the actors in it and so it is now a short film. It's not a new short film. I did it maybe like around 10 years ago or so. But yeah, so I like one of the plays I've written is now a short film, and then also like in my church we do a lot of like theater and things of that nature, and I write a lot of plays for that, and so yeah, I do write plays.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, and to be honest, I mean, what if you had the perfect person is, I mean, it's a one location film, and in many ways it sort of lends itself. It feels a bit it's got a theater vibe, I guess,
Yeah, yeah,
in the way because it's really
could
about
be.
the actors, the characters relating to each other and playing off each other, and
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like the entire thing could be a play. So
it
maybe one
could
of
be a
these
play.
days
You could do a
I
what if anthology on stage that leads to even more films. Wondering,
I
or a
could,
series.
yes. That's a good idea. Maybe one of these days I will have it as like a live stage performance. I like that. Good idea.
Who knows? Who knows? It does. It just after hearing you share it, I was like, yeah, this. It definitely feels, and that's probably another reason why your dialogue. I mean, there's a lot of great comedy in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, bravo, right? Because not everyone slips comedy into their sci-fi, but there's some great verbal and even situate. Yeah, it's verbal and situational comedy. It's very funny.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for the majority of the time, people are probably gonna think they're like watching a rom-com or something, and then like there's little pieces here and there where they're gonna be like, okay, there's something maybe a little off going on, but they may not necessarily know exactly what. But then at the end, they'll get the reveal of like, okay, now we know why this is under the sci-fi genre.
That's true. It's true. In fact, yeah, I guess do you debate whether to submit it as comedy or sci-fi or
No, I always submit it as sci-fi because I feel like that's what it is. But for me, when it comes to genres, I love infusing little bits and pieces of different genres together. Like that's fun for me, and I think audiences enjoy that. It's not what they expect, and so I think they like it, hopefully.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and the way you wrote it, particularly your character and her partner Clifton's character, you two playing off each other is just so entertaining.
Thank
Just,
you.
I imagine you've acted together before.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because yeah, it certainly felt like shorthand. It
Yeah.
certainly felt like just just really funny. And it's right. I not long ago someone I spoke to referred to acting as like ping pong and like you can either get a rally going with somebody or it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I feel like with our cast, like it worked.
it worked. It worked. Well, so I jumped again, but so you're out here and you're acting and you're doing some stage and having a good time and meeting people, which is wonderful. And it sounds like you go to the best church ever because
I
you've
do.
all these talented folks.
Yes, definitely. And so it's Hope's House in Granada Hills. And we have like an arts and entertainment ministry that I'm one of the leaders of. And so the church really encourages the artist because they know that, here in LA, there's so many people who are in the entertainment industry. And so, it just gives them a platform to not only use their talents, in film, TV, theater outside of the church, but also inside the church. So we do a lot of things. And yeah, it's a great place to, meet like-minded people and really, do a lot of great stuff together.
Yeah. So you and Brandon had worked together a bit ago, and
Yes.
then and I think you told me, but I'll have you repeat it, I guess, is is who approached whom about making this again, or did you write out the what ifs you had the perfect, or you discussed the idea of doing an anthology?
Right. So with this, it was his idea to do the What If anthology. And then, you know, we all thought of like different ideas, like, well, what if this? What if that? And so this particular, what if you had the perfect person was my idea.
Yeah, yeah. And then was it a I guess it's always fun when considering like, I programmed 20 festivals over the last decade and I know that what appears effortless often took a ton of effort. But boy, it feels so natural. Was it a quick did it come out of you pretty quickly because it certainly feels so natural.
Yeah, the script did. Like the script, I wrote it like that because I was feeling inspired. I was inspired by, there's so many people, men, definitely. I don't know, maybe women do this too. I personally don't, but so many people who like, they're just like scrolling on Instagram all day long looking for what they think is like the perfect person. Like, oh, wow, yeah, like she looks really good. Like she must be perfect or whatever. But it's like, okay, but what if there's somebody who may not appear to be perfect, but they really are perfect for you? They love you, they care about you. And, that is just something that inspired me, just the thought of that. And so I was able to write it really quickly. And I actually initially wrote two versions. So there was What If You Had the Perfect Man and What If You Had the Perfect Woman, which was basically the same script, but just the gender role reversals because I couldn't decide at first, like, did I want it to be a woman wanting the perfect man or a man wanting the perfect woman? And we even, after we had our cast, when we did our first table read, we were still undecided, Brandon and I. And so we actually had them read both versions. And so, ultimately we decided to just make it What If You Had the Perfect Person, just so people can kind of just everybody can initially just kind of relate to that title, but then it is What If You Had the Perfect Woman. We went with that script.
Yeah, well, God. Wow, I'm so curious to see the other version because obviously you got to play with a lot of societal norms between men and women uh, in our community and how different expectations exist, I think. So I imagine they're pretty radically different stories.
No,
Oh,
actually, they're
no.
they're they're pretty much the exact same. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like with both genders, there are certain individuals who are like searching for what they think is perfection. And so, yeah, I mean, the story that I told in both versions was pretty much the same. Maybe there are little changes here and there, possibly. Um, but yeah, I'm happy with what we
All right,
chose.
well, good for you then. You didn't lean on like, men want this, women want that, and that the perfect person would be like a completely different kind of person depending on which story. So that's yeah, good for you. That's a good way to do it. So you wrote this one out and you and Brandon just said, "Okay, let's do it." So you put it together and was it a quick shoot?
Well, I mean, the actual shooting day was, you know, just one day. So it was a one-day shoot,
Just
one
one day.
location. Yeah,
But
just
it
one
sounds like there
day.
was a lot of preparation.
Yeah, there was a lot of preparation beforehand. Yeah, but that day it was just one day and one location, four cast members. So I tried, like, even like as I was writing, I tried to keep it as simple as possible. But yeah, I mean, the shoot was a short shoot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
a long
and
day. The day was long, but it was just one day.
a very long day, yeah. And yeah, it certainly was sounds like also at the screenplay stage you made sure that it was producible, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. I feel like that's one of the things, as an independent filmmaker, I feel it's important to do as you're writing. Like, if you know this is going to be produced independently, to really kind of think about, your resources, what you have access to, what you can do with, whatever smaller budget you may have. You got to kind of think of that, like, even as you're writing.
Yeah, and it sounds like you did, and it
Yeah,
obviously paid off.
thank you.
And then you jump into the post world with it, I assume?
Yes, and that is what ended up taking the longest amount of time because when we were filming, like it was accidentally like filmed in slow motion or something. I don't know. I'm not a tech person, so I don't understand any of the tech stuff. But apparently, yeah, like accidentally it was like filmed in like slow motion. And so Brandon was the editor, and I mean, it took him a while to figure out how to make it look good because that's something that takes a while to like fix. So in addition to just like the regular editing process, he had to like, how they always say like, oh, we'll fix it in post. So yes, we did fix it in post, but this particular thing that needed to be fixed took a long time to figure out and get done, but we did it. Well, he did it.
Wow,
It's done.
bravo. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, that's the kind of thing that you might have had to just reshoot, but they were able to work it out. Wow, yeah, that's wow, I'm glad you were able to that
Yes.
could have been I imagine that wasn't a good time when you found out what? We recorded at the wrong speed?
Yeah, and like for me, like my tech skills are pretty close to zero, so I'm just like, well, can you fix it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a tech nerd to be honest, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, if camera was running like too many frames per second or something too fast, but sound wasn't, because I mean, you got everything in sync, like everything, like it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So that could not have been. I honestly have no idea how you could fix that problem, but boy,
I also have no idea, but I know it's possible.
yeah, excellent. So post took a bit, but mainly because of that. That was the stumbling block.
Yeah.
It wasn't like other problems to fix, or I mean, obviously, whomever edits it.
Mhm.
I don't know if Brandon did, or if,
Yeah, Brandon did it.
and I'm sure you were sitting next to him a lot of the time.
No, I
Oh.
wasn't. I mean, he was the director, he was the editor, he was producer. I mean, we both were producers, but you know, I believe that, we trust each other enough where it's like, I know he'll do his job, he'll do it well. He knows I'll do my job, I'll do it well. And I mean, that aspect of it was his job. I trusted he would do it well. And when he showed it to me, I was like, all right, this is good. I like it. Good job.
Excellent, excellent. And then a little bit of more post for sound and some music and this and that, and then you said you hit the festival circuit. I'm sorry, just as it was before we started recording, I think you told me, but right around the beginning of last year.
It was so our first screening was in November of 2024.
Yeah.
The film premiered at it's a bit of a long title, but it's one of my favorite festivals. It's the Black Hollywood Education Resource Center Essie Manley Short Film Showcase. So so we premiered there, and I love that festival. I think I've had at this point maybe like four or five films screened there throughout the years. Like it's a great festival, and so that's where we premiered. And then let's see, in the summertime at the Washington Film Awards, we won Best US Short Film, and then Sherman Oaks Film Festival, Outstanding Cast Performance Sci-Fi, Outstanding Screenplay Sci-Fi, and then just this month in January of 2025, we won. No, we didn't win. We screened at the Great Film Club's like the Great Film Club was doing something here in Hollywood. And so we screened there. Yes, we've had a few screenings, a few awards, and yeah, people are enjoying it. So that makes me happy. I like when I do something and people like it.
Yeah, well, and you've been doing it for a while. Obviously, it's not your
Yeah.
first rodeo, so you've been doing it. So it sounds like you're in a really nice groove of making things and taking them out there, and then, I assume and continuing to pursue other things, right? And doing auditions, the wonderful, fun audition world, and all that, and then still sitting down and writing your own stuff when you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I imagine do you have like the notebook or the computer file full of ideas?
I mean, I would say the majority of them are like right here in my mind. And then, a lot of times, like when I get an idea that like I'm super inspired about, like I write it. And then other ideas, just stay in my mind for however long.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I assume, well, what are you thinking about working on next? Because I admit I'm a little curious now if watching What If You Had the Perfect Person, watching with audiences and everything, does it make you want to like run home and write more what ifs?
You know, I'm not in, well, yeah, I mean, I would like that. I would like to have more what ifs, definitely. And then also with this concept of the perfect person, I would love to also kind of expand that and like turn that into like a feature-length film or a series like on its own. Because I feel like you could go so many places with this particular concept, which I won't share because, there's a twist at the end I'm not going to give away for y'all who haven't watched it yet. But I feel like you could go many places in that, especially like if I chose to take it from the perspective of like which character do I want to, tell more of this person's story or that person's story or um like how did this happen? I'm trying to like say just enough without giving it all away, but like yeah, well,
Yeah,
y'all have to
well, and
watch
honestly,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's a very satisfying short, and it certainly has three acts in it. But I could definitely see it being the introduction of a bigger idea. For
Right.
sure. For
E-
sure. Because obviously, yeah,
Exactly.
there might be a twist ending, and that twist ending might actually open the door for a lot more storytelling.
Right. And that twist is what really could catapult like a whole world of wow, like what if like this scenario is happening in real life with various people. I mean, it could even be an anthology on its own of like, each episode is well, I can't say what, but man, y'all
Oh,
have to watch the
yeah.
watch the film.
Well, people should watch it, but also, I mean, it's quite timely
Yeah, yeah,
because
it
I don't
is.
think it'd be I yeah, I mean, I will equally be cognizant of not sharing spoilers, but you know, um, humans humans wanting partners that are perfect
Right.
is doing quite a bit to our society right now.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
places we turn to for companionship are
Right.
are getting more and more interesting.
Yes.
I'll say, whoo, boy, that wasn't easy to avoid the spoilers there, but
Yeah.
I think I kind of did.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Excellent. And I guess, I mean, it's funny because I would sometimes ask if watching this film, but you've made a bunch of shorts. So honestly, you're just it sounds like you're just in a really good groove of creativity.
I am. I mean, I love being creative. I love short films. I love feature length films. I love series. I've written scripts of all different all different types. And, storytelling I love. And certain stories are best told certain ways, and some have the capacity to be told in multiple ways. But yeah, I love it all.
For sure. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, and do you have anything in mind for the next project, or you really need to put this one to bed first?
I mean, I feel like I'm open and excited for new opportunities. Yeah, we'll see we'll see what I do next. But yeah, I mean, all good things.
All good things. Excellent. And you know what's nice is our avoiding spoilers means I didn't have to share all my well, maybe when we're not maybe when we're off the air, so to speak, I'll tell you some of the things that I like even more. Some of the things that really make me love the film are, what you do with the theme and the story,
Mhm.
but I don't want to give it away.
Okay. Yes, but
Everyone's
please
everyone's
tell
everyone's
me
supposed to
later
listen.
because I really like, as a writer, I love hearing like, okay, so this really connected with someone, this really worked, they got it, this was the message or the theme that I was trying to convey, and this is what they got, or maybe they got something different, but it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I love hearing people's
Yeah.
thoughts.
Well, and just generally, I mean, I am actually one of those people who thinks, let's just say your film allows one to say what is perfect. And like I
Right.
would say that the partnership that doesn't have the perfect quotes around it is the more perfect partnership
Right, exactly.
because pursuing perfection is kind of a sterile pursuit, but I am aware a lot of people in our society do it.
They do, but perfection is an illusion. Like nobody is perfect. So yeah, I mean, if you're chasing perfection, you're gonna be out of luck.
Right? You become, oh boy, I shared my some biases already. I'm almost tempted to share more, but I won't. And all right, well, we'll make your social media handle, your Instagram. We'll make that a clickable link. Is there a website or anything too, or should we just focus on Instagram?
Um, no, I mean you can find me on social media. I'm at Miss Christina 617. That's MISSKRISTINA 617. Instagram,
And
Facebook.
I'm my best friend of 50-ish years went to Tufts, so I know 617's the Boston area code, right?
Yes, 617 is the Boston area code. That's why that's my
There we
username.
go. You're a Bostonian. Love it.
Yes.
Such a great city.
Thank you. I agree.
I have told every kid in my family, because I'm the third generation California, so now there's a fourth generation born in California. And I tell them all, go to college in Boston. Stop. I get it. The California schools are wonderful and the UC system is a great bargain for us, but
But
just
it's
go to
not
Boston.
Harvard.
Well, even though I don't care where you go and buy, I like look, when you're a high school kid in LA, it's like Westwood's one of the coolest places in the world to go next to UCLA. And I'm like, picture a town with like 20 UCLAs in it.
Yeah. And
Like
like
it's
my high school was right across the street from Harvard.
oh man, so you got to hang out in Cambridge Square and all that as a high
Yeah,
school
yeah,
kid?
totally. I went to Cambridge Written Latin School, the same school as Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and it's right across the street from Harvard.
Yeah, see, you had an amazing experience.
Yeah, I did.
See, all kids should go there.
I agree.
I by the way, I'm like 0 for 12 encouraging nieces, nephews, and heck, even our kid is at a UC now. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, I admit the first time I got to Boston, I got off the plane and I had jeans with holes in the knees, and it was that 1991 storm that like was insanely cold. Might have been 92. I don't know. But and like I never felt pain like that cold hitting my knees. So
Yeah.
Boston's cold.
Yep.
Winters, I should say winters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me wrap us up real quick so that we can get to the next episode of this podcast because this is Kristina's interview, and then the podcast after this one will be Kristina answering the fun Discover Indie Film 4 questions. So we'll get to that if I can stop talking. So I will. But first, thank you, Kristina. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you want to learn more about this podcast, where we talk to filmmakers who are on the festival circuit, just go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. I have now been off social media for a full year. I quit last January. So anyway, that's just my way of saying if you write to us on any of the platforms at DIFWins, my wonderful podcast producer, Karina will be responding, because I just find my life is better without social media now. Who knew? Who knew? I finally was able to do it. So that's discoverindiefilm.com and at DIFwins. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs 2 festivals in the Los Angeles area. Sherman Oaks FIlm Festival that we hold every December, that we screen Kristina's film. And every June we have Film Invasion Los Angeles. And so you can access both of those from the discoverindiefilm.org site. And I often call them sister festivals. And this year, they got a cousin in Lima. In fact, Kristina and I are talking. This one's going to come out, I think, in February or March, the podcast. But just like weekend before this one, Film Invasion Lima happened. And it was great. I didn't get to go, but I was watching on Instagram and watching these videos and the red carpet. Oh my God, they had a great time in Lima. I got to go next year. And there is going to be a second Lima, so that's wonderful. So thank you again, Kristina.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.